You're ready to make the move and trying to sort out if it's better to sell now or in the spring. But you're also worried whether you should buy first or sell first. I mean, that's real. It's a real thing. You don't want to become homeless, living in your in-laws' basement with your kids forever. So what you need to do first is understand, is it better to buy first or sell first? And that's a very personal conversation and decision based on your finances, where you are buying, where you are selling, and the type of homes that you're dealing with in the transactions. So if that is you, then let's chat more. Contact information's in the description, and here's our email address. But for today, in this video, let's assume that you are able to sell your home at any time and there are simply no strings attached. So what is better, fall 2024 or spring 2025? Let's find out. The plan for today is to understand what season is possibly going to be the best based on the style of the home that you have, whether it's an apartment, a townhouse, a semi-detached or detached home here in Calgary. But we have so many factors that are impacting our market. So we need to uncover that first. The outside forces that are impacting our market right now are items like mortgage renewals. We have a ton of mortgage renewals that are coming up over the next couple of years. We have a slowing economy, job losses, higher costs, right? Interest rates dropping. We are now in the season of the Bank of Canada dropping interest rates. And that really hasn't affected our market too much. But what we could see is fixed rates in the 3% range here very, very shortly. And this alone could push buyers off the fence up until the end of this year. Now there's increase of local buyer demand. There are many, many buyers who've been sitting on the sidelines, kind of waiting for an opportunity. Maybe they own a property or they don't, and they might be ready to jump into the market. The other outside factor is longer days on market. There's inflation and unemployment in our city and our country. Now, out-of-town buyers, that has been something that has really pushed our market to where we are today. But if those out-of-town buyers are able to sell their homes back home, back there, then they are going to be moving here because it has been a plan for a while. At the end of the day, as inventory increases, that lessens the pressure on buyers to pull the trigger. So all of these items, all of these things are impacting our market. And if one of them drastically changes, the trajectory of the market could shift, which is a little bit unnerving. But these factors are all fluid. And when one changes for the worst, another could change for the better. And we're kind of back in the same spot. So what should we focus on? Well, check this out. I've figured out that there are 4 main criteria for helping understand what each product type is looking like and where it could go into next year. But these stats and what we're looking at are just for the whole city. I'm not taking into account your price point, your neighborhood, or any factors when it comes to the quality of the home that you are selling. So if you want to truly understand what is happening, let's chat. Email, again, right here, contact links in the description. Send us your address, a few details on your home, and we'll get you sorted out based on the data that we're looking at here today. The 4 criteria factors that I am using are the following: demand, benchmark price trend, current supply, and the future demand. So by understanding all these 4 items, we will get a picture of where we are at, who could be interested in the future with all the outside factors at play. And ultimately, is it better to sell now or in 2025? So let's start with condo apartments. The current demand for condo apartments is sitting at 2.44 months of inventory. So you got to remember, when you're between 2.5 and 4 months of inventory, that is a balanced market. Anything under that is kind of slight sellers, or if you're like under 1 month, you're in a strong seller's market. If you're 4 months or higher, that's more of a buyer's market. So all of apartments are sitting at 2.44. So they're essentially flirting into the balanced market right now. And how is it trending? Well, the last number of months, it's been trending up. into that balanced market. Now, what about the benchmark price trend? Well, it's kind of been flattish, if that's a word. It's kind of been flattish for the last number of months, but it actually has slightly gone up a little bit. Now, the current supply, that's pretty straightforward, that has been trending up. Future demand. Well, this is where we kind of have to use our intuition, a little bit of expertise to come up with this. Those that are downsizing because of their renewal of a mortgage that they can't afford could be added to the buyer pool here. Other buyers who are entering our market and need to purchase more of an entry-level product could be here too. So we're kind of seeing there is some demand, but what is that going to look like? And is it better now or better in 2025? I'll come to that in a moment. Now, let's talk about townhomes. The current demand for townhomes is sitting at 1.72 months of inventory, and that we are finding is trending up. So they haven't passed the 2-month mark, but it could. Their benchmark price trend right now is a little bit flat. It hasn't gone up, it hasn't gone down, it's been fairly flat, and I'll explain that in a moment. Now, their current supply, that's trending up. Pretty much like the apartments, they are trending up as well. Future demand. Well, it's very similar to apartments. Those that are downsizing because of their renewal of a mortgage that they can't afford could be added to this buyer pool, right? And other buyers who are entering our market and need to purchase more of an entry-level product will be here as well. I also think that the demand will be larger here for those that are downsizing. Because you have to imagine, coming from a detached home, making the jump to a condo is just simply too big of a jump for many. So a townhouse is typically the best option for them. And we actually have clients right now that are going through this who have purchased or are conditional on a condo apartment and they just can't pull the trigger. Things in the condo documents are just too restrictive for them. So we're trying to help them through and figure out saying, hey, you know what? Townhomes could be better for you. Now let's talk about semi-detached. The current demand for semi-detached properties, like townhomes, is just under the 2 months of inventory mark at 1.98 months of inventory. And that also is trending up. Benchmark price trending, it has been flat. We have not seen any growth or any decreases in the last number of months. The current supply, that is trending up as well. Future demand. Well, where is future demand going to come for semi-detached properties? Lower price product will be in much greater demand than the higher price product. You're going to see a trend here in the detached or semi-detached products. The reason being is there's more affordability in those lower priced price points, and there's just more buyers that are looking for that than the higher priced. However, there could be a new segment of people who have moved to Calgary over the past 2 to 3 years who are realizing they don't want to live in suburbia and they want to make the change to inner city. Now, their budget isn't necessarily going to be a 1.5, 1.9, or even just over $1 million. They're going to be a little bit more price sensitive around that 700 to 900 compared to a detached property in our city. So a semi-detached property could be something that could work really great for them. Now, let's look at the 4 factors when it comes to detached properties. Demand. Demand is sitting, like the other 2 above this, semis and townhomes, right around 2 months at 1.96 months of inventory. And currently, it is trending up. So technically, all 3 of those last product types, they are sitting in a seller's market still, but where the trend is going towards moving into that balance market. The benchmark price trend for them, it has been flat. Detached homes have been flat. We've seen a little bit of movement, but overall, I mean, when you're moving $4,000, $5,000 here and there, it's essentially a flat market. The current supply, well, like everything in our market right now, that is also trending up. And future demand, lower priced detached homes under the $700 to $750 mark are going to remain probably hot for a while. The other day, one of our agents was in a 21 multiple offer situation on a home in the Northeast. Now, this size, this number of multiples offers on one place, they are much more rare, but lower priced homes can still see crazy activity in this market. We could see higher end homeowners downsizing, and we could see those waiting for an opportunity for prices to drop a bit finally jump into the market. And ultimately, when interest rates come down, we could see those that weren't able to afford the monthly costs before are now also jumping into the market because now they can afford the monthly payments. But remember, as Edge Analytics said in their most recent report, we have a bit of a foot race between the offsetting factors of a falling mortgage rates and a deteriorating economic backdrop. I think over the next few months, falling rates should push seasonally adjusted home sales up 10 to 20% throughout year end. Beyond that, it becomes a matter of how deep the economic downturn ends up being. And I couldn't agree more. I do believe as the interest rates that changed from the Bank of Canada didn't really change the 5-year or fixed rates, right? So as that changes, that's actually going to impact our market a little bit more than what the Bank of Canada has been doing initially over the last number of months. And as we get into the new year, well, that's gonna be a little bit unknown. So when is it the right time to sell your home? Spring, fall? Well, please remember that all of the outside factors could change what I'm saying here. So please chat with us first before making decisions so we can ensure that it's still correct for your situation. Let's start with condo apartments. The biggest tip I can give you is focus on your complex and building for pricing, and truly because you cannot compare different buildings to each other. So focus on that when you're doing it. I believe that suburbs are going to fare better than the inner city. So if you have an inner city condo, the fall market, as prices are where they're at, could be better for you than the spring. Now, if you have a suburb condo, I also believe the fall is going to be better than the spring, just because condos can fluctuate a lot more than other property types. Townhomes. Now, like the apartments, you have to focus on your complex and your building, as well as location in your building, right? If it's on a certain height, certain direction, backing onto certain things, that is the best way to understand pricing and looking at neighborhood trends for townhomes as well. The fall will be good still for townhomes. Winter could be slower than in spring because of all the reasons earlier in this video. I honestly believe spring could be okay for townhomes too. So you have a little bit of a runway here compared to the other product types if selling a townhome is what you want. There's a lot of demand for them. Now let's talk about semi-detached properties. If you are in the lower price ranges of this product type, then I believe that either now or in spring of 2025 could be really, really good for you. If you are in the higher end price range, then spring of 2025 could be slower for you. So you might want to consider selling before that. Now, detached homes. Very much like semi-detached, if you're in the lower price ranges, then you're gonna have the most demand of all the detached homes. So now or in the spring will most likely be good for you. Higher end homes above the benchmark price, right, 750-ish and up, spring may not be as kind to you, so you may want to consider getting your home on the market this year. I don't fully know if that's true or not, but it's really, really hard to gauge because there could be less buyers looking in the higher price ranges and way more looking in the lower price ranges. But all of this data and info is actually really useless unless you know more about the reasons these changes are happening. So if you want to be in the know, then watch this video and I'll see you over there.